Glad to have you join us again on Business Breakfast on iBrandTV. Now let's get talking on our first interview segment of the show. Latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics indicates that Nigeria's gross domestic product GDP report grew by 2.31% year-on-year in real terms in the first quarter of 2023. This compares to the 3.52% real GDP growth rate recorded in the previous quarter and 0.8% lower compared to the 3.11% recorded in the corresponding period of 2022. The NBS blamed the slowdown in GDP growth rate on the naira scarcity, which occurred in the first quarter of the year, as the Central Bank of Nigeria refused to back down on its naira swap policy. The adverse effect of the cash crunch emphasized the need for a stable and accessible currency system that supports businesses and facilitates economic transactions. This also suggests that despite the significant gains recorded in the area of fintech and cashless banking, the Nigerian economy is still heavily dependent on cash for transaction. Joining me now live virtually from Lagos State to do some analysis of sectoral performance of the Q1 GDP report is a macroeconomic analyst, a research and strategy officer, Olayinka Lamidi. Yinka, good morning and many thanks for joining us on the program. Hello Yinka, I assume you're there. Good morning, many thanks for joining us on the program. Well, if you can hear me, let's start with the first question. For the sake of our target audience, which are the mass markets, I'd like to know, how does a decline in GDP rate, what does a decline in GDP means to them, and what is the ripple effect of this on their standard of living? All right, we'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll try to reconnect as we have our guests join us on the program. Stay with us. Glad to have you join us on the program again. Let's get talking. I have my guest Olayinka Lamidi, who is an investment research and strategy analyst, African Plus Partners Nigerian Limited. Join me now live via phone as we do some analysis of sectoral performance of the Nigerian GDP. Now, Yinka, I asked earlier, for the sake of our target audience, which are the mass market, I'd like you to break it down, the ripple effect of GDP on their standards of living, the decline in GDP on their standards of living.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that question. I believe it should really be we start with GDP itself, like what GDP really means. So GDP means gross domestic product. Right? So in paper terms, it means the total value of goods and services produced in a country over a certain period. It may be quarterly, it may be annually. So it measures the market standard of living and economic well-being. So, generally, when GDP is rising, we say standard of living, people in that economy is, also rising as well. And when GDP is declining, basically what we are actually doing. So for context, right, relating it to Nigeria, for context, Nigeria's GDP rose, slowly by 2.31% year-on-year in Q1 2023. And this is lower when we compare it to 3.11% year-on-year growth it's recorded in Q1 2022 by 0.8%. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, right, the growth rate also slowed by 1.21% from 3.56% in Q4 2022. And we know that this is driven by the impact of naira scarcity, the EBN currency swap policy, and as well as the election uncertainty that happened during that period, Q1 2023. So remember as well, people could not, go about with their normal business activities, because of the currency swap policy. So basically, what this means to the market is that we are better off, than we are in Q4 2022 because there is a growth. And as in Q4 2022 and in Q1 2022, because there is a growth. But the rate at which we are getting better is, declining because when you compare the growth rate of 3.11% last year to that of 2.31% 1.31% this year, we know that there is a slower growth, right? The growth is declining, so we become worse off when GDP turns to negative growth, and that is a depression. And I mean, we and everyone, right? Everyone has to be concerned whenever everyone has to be concerned whenever the NBS releases the GDP figures.
Okay, quickly, let's look at the performances of the Q1 GDP report, especially the non-oil sector. Contribution to the Nigerian economy dropped by 93.97% in the first quarter of this year from 95.66% it recorded in the fourth quarter of 2022. What do you think is responsible for this decline?
Okay, looking at the numbers, numbers don't lie, right? Looking at the numbers, the non-oil sector grew in real terms by 2.77% Q1 2023. And this rate is actually lower by 3.301 compared to the rate recorded in the same quarter of last year, and 1.27% also lower than that of the Q4 2023. But correspondingly, the contribution of the oil sector declined from 95.22, as you said, in Q4 2022 to 93.79% in Q1 2022. Remember, the non-oil sector in Nigeria is largely characterized by the informal sector, right? While the oil sector has historically been the dominant sector contributes significantly to the government's revenue, the non-oil sector plays a crucial role with massive contribution to GDP, as well as in providing employment and livelihood for the majority of Nigerians. So the drop in the sector's contribution to GDP shows vulnerability to the cash funds that we experienced in Q1 2023. Like I said earlier, this sector is largely informal sector and tax-based. So, despite the fact that we have things from ICT, finance and insurance, any other sector, the sector's GDP slowed. The sector's GDP slowed, showing the decline in the sector's GDP shows the significance of the informal sector to the overall economy. So, largely, the sector has largely been impacted by the cash fund that we experienced.
Thanks so much for that insight. But let me ask you this now: with the implementation of the PIA, that's the Petroleum Industry Act, and the removal of fuel subsidy, this of course will lead to would this lead to a decline in the consumption of crude oil in the country? Do you think this development will enable the oil sector boost its contribution to the country's economy?
Thank you very much for that question. Hopefully, I would say the removal of fuel subsidy will result in a decline in the consumption of crude oil in Nigeria. This will be due to fuel price, basically which you already experienced, right? And basically it will lead to reduced demand for petroleum products. But however, it is important to note that the decline in the consumption, right, may not be significant enough to outweigh the overall contribution of the oil sector to our economy. So let's look at numbers again. As of Q1 2023, right, the oil sector contributed 6.21% to overall GDP. That is as of Q1 2023, where we experienced where we experienced the currency or cash funds, let me say. So this 6.21% contribution to GDP in Q1 2023 is an increase of 1.87% compared to the contribution of 4.34% in Q4 2022. And don't forget, even though we are still producing below the project target of 1.6 million barrels per day, our oil production has increased from 1.34 million barrels per day in Q4 2022 to 1.57 million barrels per day in Q1 2023. So subsequently, the oil sector grew by negative 4.21% year-on-year in Q1 2023 compared to the negative 26.04% year-on-year contraction that we recorded in the corresponding quarter of last year. So, Nigeria is still a major oil producing country, and even with a potential decline in domestic consumption, the country will continue to export oil and earn revenue from international markets. So, in addition to that, the implementation of PIA, which also aims to reform and restructure the oil sector, attracting more investment and improving efficiency, right? This act, which provides a more favorable regulatory framework for mechanisms to ensure transparency, accountability, and better management of the sector. So, I mean, overall, what the decline in domestic oil consumption due to the removal of social subsidy may have short-term effects, the implementation of the PIA and the subsequent reforms, right, are expected to create a more robust and competitive oil sector in Nigeria. So, this in turn will have potential, this in turn has the potential to boost the sector's contribution to the country's economy, through increased production, revenue, and foreign investment. So, however, the full impact will depend on effective implementation, addressing operational challenges, and adjusting to changing global energy dynamics.
Thank you so much for that in-depth analysis. Now, let's look at the non-oil sector. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the non-oil sector has been playing a significant role to the growth of the Nigerian's economy. But in Q1 2023, we saw a decline of 93.97% from the 95.66% it recorded in the fourth quarter of 2022. What factors will you say is responsible for inhibiting the growth of this sector, its contribution to the economy?
So, I believe we discussed this, but then again, let me just chip this in, right? Basically, the oil sector, during the quarter, actually experiences, cash from the issue with the cash funds, as well as, withdrawal limits and some other factors that, affected the decline in the contribution. So, and this shows the vulnerability of the, of the sector to cash, cash transactions, because the sector is largely informal and cash based. So, I mean, so the major factor responsible for this decline is the fact that we experienced significant cash funds during the quarter, as well as the fact that there is election uncertainties in that quarter as well. So, all these two have to bring down the contribution from 95.2 to 93.79% in Q1 2023.
Okay, before I let you go now, to wrap up this segment of the program, the World Bank has downgraded Nigerian economic outlook for the year 2023, and now going by the removal of fuel subsidy and its ripple effect on not just only household but also on businesses. Finally, as I let you go now, what is your projection for Q2 2023 GDP reports? Do you say a further decline or a marginal growth rate?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. Thank you very much. In my own view, right, I believe the credit allowing for the co-calculation, the calculation of the new currency as well as the old currency, the co-calculation of old and new currency along with the successful transition of the new government, is expected to further stimulate growth, right? Additionally, the completion of Dangote refinery will contribute to improve oil production in Nigeria, leading to better performing oil sector. The government initiative to enhance local production is also commendable and will have possible effect. So, in the non-oil sector, right, I believe the bank and telecoms company will continue to be a major resilient, we continue to be resilient, and we continue to be a major driver. We continue to be the major driver, to the non-oil sector GDP. As they invest and as banks invest and promote non-cash payment methods, while the telecom invest in 5G technology. However, the manufacturing and agricultural sector may face significant challenges due to high taxes, finance costs, especially with rising interest rate environment. So, we are looking at the agricultural sector, right? It's likely that basically agricultural sector will experience seasonality itself, because that is really playing out at the moment. Because we are in the period of land preparation and planting. So overall, I have to say that the GDP will surpass 3% year on year, drawing from improvements from the oil sector and the non-oil sector, and the fact that there is cash availability in the economy. So indicating a positive outlook for the economic growth in the quarter.
Olayinka Lamidi, Investment Research and Strategy Analyst, African Plus Partners Nigeria Limited. A big thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule to be a part of this show today, breaking down the details for us, including the figures and how they impact our daily life. Thank you for your time on the show this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, still to come on the program after the timeout. As Nigeria's new Finance Act 2023 takes effect, corporates and citizens are set for a more turbulent economic year. What are the implications of this development to businesses and the masses amid burning macroeconomic issues? We'll find out after this break. To stay with us.